Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. We have a lot of props today.
I know. Visual aids.
Props to the prop
We just added another prop to the table. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see we've added the Lenovo.
Like, it's the Duet 5, dude.
We've added a new. No, never mind. This one's been out, but
it is on sale. So
it is on sale.
Joe must have been using this and look how fingerprinting it is.
I probably was.
Butter hands over here.
I probably was. I have oily skin. Okay.
I just want to hold this just as a. Okay.
Yeah. Before we get to that real quick, we need to talk about one other quick thing. If anyone else watching the video might have noticed Robby's Samsung Galaxy Watch 5, and
plus.
Yeah, it's 5, right?
5.
Yeah.
5.
And,
not Pro, just 5.
And his phone that I don't know if you can see it from that.
Probably wouldn't notice it.
Probably.
Even if I held it up real quick, you'd be like, "What is that?"
The camera would tell for sure.
Flat.
You would notice that.
Boom.
Is that a OnePlus?
What do you got? What do you got? A OnePlus?
What's that? Oh, I got some goop up here on top of it.
Gross! Oh wow, you're so gross.
Golf
Some
course
sort
goop.
of crusties. I think it looks like crusted coffee.
Golf course.
I guarantee
golf
it's
course
something
goop.
from the golf
That hot
course.
dog.
From that glizzy.
It's a little bit of mustard.
A little bit of mustard from my glizzy.
I hope that's not offensive.
I
came across this term.
I don't think it is. I've heard the people's
No, I hear
on
food
people's
guys.
on the
Our
internet.
food guys use it all the time. It's just hot
golfer lingo.
Yeah.
Anywho, Robby has some Samsung stuff.
Yeah. So
You only care about Samsung.
Yep. That's all I talk about. That's all I do.
Listen,
I got a
folks.
tattoo.
We're gonna continue covering. We're gonna continue covering Chromebooks. That is our core. That is our absolute focus. But when we talked about it on the podcast already, if you've listened to this a few weeks ago, at the end of the day, a lot of our readers and listeners and viewers most likely have some Samsung products. Most likely have a Samsung phone.
Statistically speaking, has to be.
Yes.
Has to be true.
Not everyone has a Pixel phone. Just not possible.
Most people don't.
Yeah, most don't. So
I mean, based on the
statistically.
percentage of users on our site that are Android users, and you take the percentage of Americans that use Samsung, I would say well more than 50% of our readers probably have Samsung devices.
Yeah.
And so we want to know, Robby. I'll say Robby. This is Robby's project. Robby wants to know how do these phones work with a Chromebook? How does the watch work? How does the watch interact with Google services? How do all of these things?
Yeah, and it's not just Samsung, but Samsung's kind of the poster child for this idea that, and for me, it's funny. Like, I'm trying to think when it really kicked in for me. I guess when Google started making the Pixel, and then maybe with the Pixel Watch rumors, I got really like myopic with Google products. It was just like
got in the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like that's what it has to be.
Yeah,
and I remember the couple times I kind of went outside of it. Android software up and probably till the last 2 years, I would say. It's just kind of been all over the place.
Yep.
If you had an Android phone, it didn't really mean anything. And like OnePlus was great at it, so I felt like I could stray with OnePlus, and they stuck pretty close to whatever the basic Android stuff was. They weren't trying to do anything flashy. And so, I'd mess around with their phones, and there were always quirks, that were annoying. And it was like, I just want to go back to Pixel because software-wise, it's a better experience. And, it's funny, like the HP at CES I remember picking it up, handling it for a few minutes, and realizing, like, I feel like they have gone and made something special with this Chromebook. I said it in that video. I've said it since. I say it now. Like, they've done something different here. And we've talked at length, I feel like, about the idea that if Google's not going to make Pixel Book, someone needs to pick up that mantle. I've written a piece about this. We've talked about it. Like, someone has to be the one that says, yes, we're going to make a great Chromebook that has all the specs on the sheet, but then it also gets over that last hump and does the last 10% of all the little things that make a device go from being like, oh, that's nice, to holy crap, that's amazing. And so I feel like HP's kind of on that trajectory with this. And as I kind of settled in with that idea of it being that sort of device, all of a sudden, I don't know, I feel like it unlocked something in my head to where I'm like, that's okay. Like, it's okay for this device to be, I don't want to call it like the next Pixel book. I don't want to say that. Like that's not really what it's trying to be, but it feels like it's trying to fit in that gap.
Right.
Like there's a hole here. Somebody's got to step up and be the one that shows everybody how to do it. And I feel like HP is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've even talked about this concept before with the old HP 11. Google worked with them to make that device for a particular reason. I think it was just to show that like consumer Chromebooks could
be a thing,
be something more than just a slab of pieces put together. And they did that. They did it effectively with that device, and I feel like they're going to show up and do it effectively with this one too. And that concept all of a sudden just unlock something in my brain. It's like, okay, if HP and Google can get together and make something like this Dragonfly, and I can use it, and I can get all the same feels I got from the Pixel Books and the Pixel Book Go's of the world. If I can get there with that, then I don't have to wait for Google hardware to do that thing. And I would imagine it's got to be the same way that some people that are like Windows enthusiasts feel about Surface stuff. Like Surface is great, but you may have qualms or whatever. Like, I hate that they used an AMD processor in that one laptop. I just wish they would have done blah, blah, blah. But no one else is making ones that feel like this, that have the user experience of this. And so I'm stuck between choosing a better user experience overall and missing out on a couple key features.
Right.
Or making the dive to get those couple key features and losing out on some of the fit and finish and the user experience. And so I feel like Chromebooks have been that way for a while. I feel like HP is changing that. And so as we started talking about like with the Samsung event, I'm like, well, clearly tons of people use Samsung devices. It's been a little bit since I've given them a try, but I did remember like with the Fold that I tried out a year ago, it wasn't the software that was my hang up. I didn't leave that device and get rid of it and move away because of the software. It was the super skinny outside screen that I knew I was going to use a lot,
right.
and I couldn't help myself from using all the time, and it was annoying. And so I was like, well, maybe the software's not that bad because it's gone through a couple big iterations since then, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, it's still Android. It's still going to work with my Chromebook in the same way. I'm still going to be able to do all the phone hub stuff. I'm still going to be able to leverage all those things because Google's gotten way better at not just making some of these little things pixel only, like
right?
Pixel this and pixel that. Like they're sharing. I mean, hell, they just announced with Google One, you can do Magic Eraser now.
Yeah, saw that
on any Android phone. I want to test it after this and see if we can do it on Chromebook because that would be more fun to talk about. But I feel like Google went through a little period where they're like, hey, we're going to hold some of this stuff for ourselves. And maybe they'll debut things on Pixel first and then roll it out and let it be. But it seems like they're getting into the habit where they're like, we're going to make this and it's going to be really cool, but then we're going to let other people have it. And then seeing Hiroshi on stage at Samsung, like all these things started clicking together. Like I feel like Google also is probably moving in a direction of going, look, we're going to keep plugging away hardware, but this is a long play.
Yeah.
Very long play. In Chromebooks, clearly they might be like, we don't know if we're ever going to make another Chromebook, and I don't know that Google will make another Chromebook.
Don't
I
know
have
that
no
they
idea.
need to, honestly.
With devices like this,
Right.
all of a sudden it's not just like, well, it's kind of good, but it's not quite, like a Pixel book. Like, again, I can't. I'll just stop myself. But the point is, like, all of these things start happening, and it's like, okay, well, if we have a bunch of people using Samsung devices, would it be a cool time to try getting out of a locked ecosystem and getting back to what I was when Chrome OS started, or Chromebooks and Chrome OS started hitting the market. When Chrome Unbox started, I was very hardware agnostic. Like, apart from like saying I want to use Android, and especially like I don't want to try to shoehorn an iPhone into a Chromebook, and above and beyond anything else, I want to use a Chromebook. So it's like, okay, if I start at that point and then move forward, like pretty much any Android phone's okay. I'm gonna get the same experience. So why not try using one that kind of is on our side of the fence, our Apple, basically. Like they've got the market, they have the user base, they've got the money, they've got the research, they've got the years in the industry to do some stuff that only Samsung can do at this point with an Android phone. And so I was like, maybe it's time to just give, instead of it being a foldable or something weird and all that kind of stuff, just a good old Samsung phone. I don't remember the last time I had the Samsung S22 Plus for like a week, and I probably should have tried the Ultra, to be fair. It just wasn't quite on par with like what the Pixel 6 was, and so I was like, I'm going to try it, and I want to try the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get their earbuds, their phone, and their watch, and just see. And it's been great.
Yeah.
Actually. And this time too, I think it's not just been I'm going to get these things and see, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to try to make it like a Pixel. I'm going to try to make it like a Google thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I'm going to let it be a
What it
Samsung
is.
device.
And that's what I think.
And
Like,
just see what happens.
Like I like my Pixel Watch way more than I do my Galaxy 4, but I like my Galaxy 4. I almost put it on to play golf yesterday but it wasn't charged. But I was like, if I'm going to wear one to the golf course, I'll wear one. I don't really care if I scratch it up or anything. But I really liked it. The UI is a little slow. I'm assuming that one's probably better. I don't know.
This feels
anyway.
as faster than the Pixel Watch.
So it feels a little chunky compared to the Pixel Watch, but I like the watch, but I never had the Samsung ecosystem to go with it.
Right.
But the Chromebook side of it was never an issue. And I feel like if I'd had a Samsung phone, this and that, whatever, the overall experience would have been just as good. And same as you, I wouldn't have been in a position where I'm like, I want to try to make this more like a Pixel phone.
And that's what I always tried to do.
Yeah.
And because I was OnePlus for like 3-4 years, and I tried my first 1 or 2 phones I had with OnePlus, put on the Pixel launcher and did it all
Right.
But the last 2, I think the 9 was the last one I had. Like, it was just stock OnePlus.
Let it be its thing.
And it was great.
Yeah.
I loved that phone.
Yeah. Is that one LTE, your watch?
Yeah.
Have you
was
had
the-
the same issue where we were having where if you disconnect, it's sending all your voicemails?
No.
It's so weird.
Yeah. I think that was a temporary thing that they probably.
I hope I haven't powered on mine.
Yeah, I need it. Mine's on the
Galaxy in a little
charger. I'll
bit.
try it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like once, because that got widely addressed, I think
I know
that it was a
there
bigger
was-
problem.
there was-
Hopefully they solved that. I don't know, but yeah, I've not had any issues. The LTE stuff. Again, my phone's always with me, so I don't know how often I actually leverage LTE. on
Yeah.
there. I still wish Wear OS had some sort of answer for WhatsApp. Standalone.
Oh, yeah.
Because at that point, I feel like I could probably put my phone in my golf bag, like on the course.
Now that one's big enough you could do the side load. It's a little janky, but it works.
Yeah.
But that was the only problem with my watch is the screen was too small to hit the accept button, and I couldn't get.
But I'm just like,
But
there's
you
no
shouldn't have to
reason
do
they.
that.
Yeah,
There's zero reason.
especially now that the way that you can have your 4 devices that get paired. Cool. Let me pair my Chromebook. Let me pair my watch, and I don't need any other devices really. Maybe pair 2 Chromebooks.
Have you had any issues with any of the like phone hub or any of the kind of phone connected features of Android?
That was
with,
what happened with the S23. I
remember there
what
was-
made me go, nope, because there was a
Phone
Chromebook
hub.
feature, and like Phone Hub it would not find it.
Yeah.
It just would not connect. I don't know what even that was. I never got it fixed because I took the phone back.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to use an Android device that is trying to do whatever it's trying to do. It won't do the basic things Android needs to do with my Chromebook. Like, I'm not okay with that, and I've had 0 issues.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this clip of the Chromecast podcast. If you want to see the full episode, it's linked down in the show notes. This was just a little teaser, just a little snippet. So you can watch the whole episode if you'd like. It's linked down below. But if you like this content, give us a thumbs up. Go down there and click subscribe and click the notification bell next to it so that you get an alert when we put out future clips. All right, we'll catch you all in the next one. See you.